welcome back to the Geekdom Initiative. I am Ben, and with me is Don, and we have a very old very old Kelly, whatever you want to call it. It's Dave.
Yes.
He's back with us. How you doing, Dave?
I am doing great. I prefer crazy French Canadian guy, but I am not French Canadian. Just the Rousseau of it all. I'm excited to be here, and now this is on Mondays. It was in a lot more of me, which was exciting.
Yeah, really?
Until they realized it was a terrible mistake to move it to Mondays, and they're like, "This guy, get him out of here." But I am always
guys. It's all his fault, guys.
No, we love him here.
always excited to talk Lost with you guys, though.
Me here, and you have the knowledge, and you have the Mac stage sequence. I can't talk to that.
You got that? Are you alright over there, Ben?
Very well. Long day today, but good day.
That's good. That's
Everyone will find out live. Yeah, live later. Like I said, I can't talk tonight. So we are talking Lost, Season 1, Episode 15, Homecoming.
Yes.
This picks up right where the last one ends with Claire coming home.
Oh,
I see what you did
That's
there.
clever.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, see what I did? Yeah. What did you guys think about this episode?
I mean, I really liked this episode, but the craziest part was when Spider-Man came swinging in. I mean, that was when I was just like, oh, shit.
damn it! I shouldn't have let you talk. I had that locked and loaded.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired, man. I didn't even see that coming. No way home.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I really like this episode. I was talking to Ben before for the show, and this is one thing among many other things that me and Damon Lindelof do not share in common, because this is his least favorite episode in the entire series.
Wow.
I'm going to find out why. Why that is.
Well, I pulled the quote from him in 2009 while promoting the final season of Lost. The Hollywood Reporter asked if there were any regrets he had about the show. Damon responded, "Oh, Homecoming for sure. We had some episodes that just didn't make sense, but the script was never the issue with them. That episode is flawed in almost every single level that an episode of Lost can be." Then it's no longer a quote. Then I read a little bit more. He didn't like that. At the end of the day, he didn't like that it was a Charlie flashback. He's like, why wasn't this a Claire flashback episode? We fucked up. Why'd we kill Ethan? That was a mistake. We killed Scott when we meant to kill Steve.
Yeah, I caught that too.
And yeah, but I like this. I do like this episode a lot. I don't think it's like the best episode of season 1, but really enjoyable, especially after the last couple episodes that we've had.
Yeah. No, I like this episode overall. I like just that they, eventually they use Claire as bait, and they get Ethan, and Charlie snaps.
I'm curious. What do you guys think about Ethan being killed at the end of the episode?
I don't. When I watched it initially, I wasn't a fan of it because I always really liked Ethan as a bad guy. I was like so menacing. He's so scary. Even the first time that you this episode, you see him, and before you see him, you hear the of him Charlie up his rocks to throw, and he's just such a good bad guy. So when Charlie kills him, I'm like, oh no. And I'm also like, no, he had all the answers. He could have told us everything.
Right.
But with the grand scheme of the show in place, I do like that this is the first victory that we've gotten, that the the 815ers have got over the others, so that by the time Exodus rolls around, we've kind of forgotten them as a threat. So when they show up on their boat, it's like, oh no, these guys are all very scary.
Well, all he is about Ethan, he was a good fish box, in my opinion.
Right.
Like, he was good right off the bat, but we get so many better bosses and characters in the new episodes that it would have been nice to have him there, but I'm kind of happy he wasn't there. If that makes sense.
I mean, I think it all comes down to what Charlie actually says, though, at the end when Jack asks him why he did it, and he says, I was never going to let that monster anywhere near her again. I mean, I think that's really what it came down to for him, was he just wasn't going to allow him any chance to be around Claire and get away from them and take her. So
yeah, and we see like Ethan in. I'm glad that they find ways to like, work Ethan into the story post-mortem. But you see, he's a crazy person. This man is nuts. So like even if Saeed was back on the torture bandwagon, I don't know that they would have gotten anything out of him. So, but at the same time,
I agree with that.
So Charlie, at the end of the day, made the right choice, and I do actually really like. We're gonna have a B story for the next couple episodes, I think, about Charlie having PTSD and kind of bonding him together. I like that catalyst.
Well, you're saying yourself, Ethan's crazy. Let's not forget.
Yes.
Let's not forget who he's related to. Who did what happened to jump out of a plane in a video yesterday.
Oh, he is Tom Cruise's cousin. Yes,
that is true. I'm pretty sure that man is trying to kill himself, but he doesn't even know he's trying to do it at this point.
No, I think he's just trying to prove us all wrong. It's like, no, you think I can? I'm like Senor Chang.
I really think that I do find it not odd, not weird. I find it interesting that it was Charlie's flashback and not Claire.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't think it would be all about him, right?
Yeah, and that was one of the things Damon cited as why this is his least favorite episode, even above something like Stranger in a Strange Land. Is the flashbacks in season 2, I think it is, where we find out like what happened to Claire while she was kidnapped by Ethan.
Yeah.
I think that would have fit so perfectly here. But
you think this early, revealing everything?
Yeah, because like, what does holding that information actually do for us? I think though that the show is still new though, and they're not ready to do something so.
Thank you.
So breaking, you know.
Thank you again. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys because usually the flashbacks somehow fit what they're trying to tell in the story. Where I will agree that these flashbacks don't really fit what's being told in the story at this point. I mean, is him shooting him supposed to be like him taking care of her? I mean, that doesn't make sense for the show right now.
Well, I think it is with that line where Lucy in the flashback tells Charlie, "You're never going to take care of anyone, Charlie. You're going to screw up forever." And then at the end, it's supposed to show like where Claire and Charlie are like reconnecting as friends. But I do the message kind of muddled when the Ethan murder happens.
Yeah, it's not as strong of a connection for me, at least, as of a flashback episode. Part of the episode, the flashbacks aren't as strong in this one.
I think unfortunately that happens a lot with second flashback episodes for people, where we'll talk like a lot of times the strongest flashback episode is their very first one. and then unless it's like a character like Locke where it just keeps punching you and punching you and punching you.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where they struggled with Charlie, because his first flashback, I think, in the Moth is really strong. But then this one is just like, what are we doing here? Even though I do love seeing Charlie the flirt at the bar when he goes up and it's like, ladies, you just simply have to stop buying me drinks. You will not be able to ravish me tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like even when they get back to the apartment and he's like, if you wanted to have sex with me, you could have just said that instead of asking me up for tea. It's really funny.
I'll be honest, I don't think any of Charlie's flashback episodes are some of the best.
Oh man, I'll fight you, man. Greatest hits.
Okay,
I do like the earlier ones with him and his brother, like forming the band and all that. I do like those flashbacks. I
take that back.
Yeah, I think like he has. Me and you have talked before. Fire Plus Water, the season 2 flashback where he tries to drown Aaron. Like that one really bad Charlie flashback episode, and then you have this. But I think this is one where I also could have had all on island stuff. I don't know that we needed flashback at all this episode. Because stuff on island is really strong.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Now, after you. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, John, you talked about how the scene where Lucy brings Charlie back to her house for tea. Did you catch a connection to another show in that scene?
No, I didn't. What did I miss?
So when Lucy talked about where her dad is that night, says he's out of town purchasing a paper company in Slough, which is where the British Office takes place. So the Office is canon in the Lost universe.
Oh, there you go.
They happen in the same universe.
I thought it was Locke's company. That's what I thought he was. They were.
That's a box company.
Box company. Oh shoot. Okay. Darn it.
He's a boxman.
That's right.
You're any connection to the British Office, not the more successful American Office.
The David Brent was in the American Office, so it's all connected, you know. And boo on Jacob for not putting Scott as one of the candidates. I think Michael would have been great on the island.
Oh my god. Well, don't forget, the Waiting Office episode with the double initiative was mentioned.
It's all connected. This is the kind of hard-hitting stuff I bring to this episode.
Is that where they would have eventually sent Michael for his shenanigans?
That's where he said he was going to Colorado. He went to the island.
Yeah.
Hurley brought him to the island. He's like, we need some jokes.
Did you guys ever watch the show called Wrecked?
No.
It was like the spoof version of Lost.
I cannot see.
I meant to, but I didn't.
It was actually really funny. It was really funny, but yeah. Reminds me of that. If Michael would have been on the island.
Can I just keep talking about the flashbacks for a second?
Yeah,
I really love and it's gonna be gross. Love the scene where Charlie pukes in the copier. I think that's so funny. I think Dominic Monaghan, something that doesn't get talked about, he gets talked about as like being a great actor on Lost. Obviously, people love him from Lord of the Rings, but his physical comedy is so good. Like last week, he had that whole thing where he was like, "I'm not looking at the diary. I'm looking at the diary. I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at it."
Yeah.
And then this week, just like everything he's doing in that scene with like the SpongeBob-esque ukulele sound in the background as he's trying. The copier, I noticed on this run through, the copy he's trying to sell, model 815.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
It's weird. He plays a very good recovering person.
You go on your topic of Dominic transitional comedy. I've been saying it since I first watched Lost. Dominic and the actor who plays Shirley would make a perfect live action if human Timon and Pumbaa. Fight me on that.
I could see that. I can absolutely see that. I can easily see that for sure. Yeah.
I would love.
It's actually perfect in a weird way.
I would love to see Jorge Garcia as Pumbaa.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never thought you like that, Dave.
I love that.
Wow.
That's actually really good. That's actually a good one.
Boy. So what do you guys think of the? What did you guys think of like the return of Claire and the introduction of the amnesia storyline? Already putting you to sleep.
I'll be honest. Amnesia storylines usually are quite boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh god, not this. This is not good. Why are they doing it? But in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't last long. I just wish they never had to deal with it to begin with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my kind of question at this point would be how and why.
It's a trauma mechanism, right? And they also have had Claire so drugged up for I forget how long exactly she's been gone. I think it's something like 20 days that Claire's gone. So they've had, I think it might be less, but I think it's around like 15 to 20 days that she's gone.
Okay.
Oh, TikTok channel.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I really also dislike the amnesia storyline. But as Ben said, it mostly doesn't matter. I have a bigger problem with the other amnesia storyline that comes up in Lost. This one I can forgive.
What is the other one? Remind me.
It's not amnesia, but it's where Sun forgets how to speak English.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because she bumped her head.
Yeah, that made no sense whatsoever.
I can tell you, I've done a lot of research. That's not a real thing. You don't just forget how to speak a language by bumping your head a little bit.
Is there a behind the scenes reason for that? Like, was she going through like?
I don't know.
Voice for a few episodes.
I don't have season 6 notes ready. I'm sorry.
I think I don't know.
I know a lot of stuff, but why did Sun lose her voice? I don't know.
Can't bring him back on, Ben. You can't bring him back. He's not prepared. He's just not prepared.
Oh my God. Well, okay. So it was the electromagnetism of the island that like it wrapped around his vocal cords.
I'm kidding, man.
It's a joke.
There's some great lines in this episode.
Yeah.
Sawyer has a few lines in this episode that are good.
Yeah, he does.
I love when Jack comes to him to give him a gun. It's like, help? Moi?
Yeah.
And then right after that, where Jack asks him if he knows how to use a gun. I know at least one polar bear who seems to think so.
Yeah. It's a good one, too.
Yeah.
I just like that Jack gives him the gun and then he gives Kate the gun that he has already. Like, why didn't you just tell Jack you already had a gun anyway?
It is interesting that...
This is a funny thing that happens.
Why do you think Jack didn't give Kate? At this point, he doesn't trust Sawyer. Why didn't he just give Kate a gun?
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't trust Kate yet. I think he did. I think he doesn't trust her. I don't agree with that, but I think he thinks this woman killed somebody. Do I really want to trust her right now?
Sure.
You know what? Oh, you know why he doesn't trust her? Because of the whole little plane thing. It belonged to the man I love, the man I killed. Ugh.
Little plane. It's always a
Yeah.
little
Fucking just
plane.
ruining everything.
The plane.
The plane.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, and I agree with you. I really do like that Sawyer's like, if the lady wants to come, then she should have a gun. I will say though, right after that, he does say, "Lifted off the marshal," back in the old days.
In the old
And I'm just
days,
like, it's like you don't get to say that, Sawyer. You fucked up killing him.
yeah. Well, Jack calls him out on it right away too.
Yeah, he's like, and then I hate what Sawyer odds with, which is bygones. Like, you don't get to
Bygones.
decide that.
Yeah.
That's not your call, Sawyer.
I don't think it works that way. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way.
I can't help it, guys. Sawyer is one of my favorite characters.
Oh, I love Sawyer. But
Oh yeah, I have a Sawyer Funko Pop up there. Like, I love Sawyer. I think he has the best arc in the show, but that all starts next week.
Yeah.
I just think he really gets to let who he is come out when they go back in time. That's when I really like Sawyer. That's when he really.
For me, after he kills Anthony Cooper.
Yeah.
After he does that, I think there's a big change in him.
Oh,
I think one he
for
means
sure.
Juliet. I think one he means Juliet. But
That's a good, yeah. It's a good point.
we're not.
Oh yeah, no, we're not there yet. Sorry, no. We're
No.
not there yet.
Ben, that's my job. I'm supposed to. I come on here and I make you guys talk about the episode you're talking about. I teased it in the green room before the. This is just gonna be an episode because there's not a lot of great behind the scenes stuff. Well, there's a couple of deleted scenes that are interesting, but
Okay. From this episode specifically, or
yeah, from this episode specific. No, I want to talk about the pilot.
okay, gotcha.
But this episode, we can get into that a little bit later. But another great line that I love in this, which doesn't have a lot of payoff, but I think sets the scene for future events, is when after Ethan's come back and he's like, "I will kill one of them, and I will kill you last." Then they're like setting up perimeter. And Boone's like, "I want to help." And Locke's like, "Sure thing. We're all counting on you, Boone." And then Boone just totally biffs it by falling asleep and getting poor Scott killed.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say. Also,
Steve Scott. That's
yeah. which to go on that, like, they had to, when they realized what they had done, which was weeks later after the episode had aired, and they were like, "Oh shit, we just killed the actor who played Steve, but that was Scott." What we did, Scott. Fuck. They put like notes up in the writer's room on like the big whiteboard that you always see in all like the behind the scenes photos and stuff. And it just was, "Scott is dead, Steve is alive. Remember this." And that's why there's so many jokes still coming that are who's Scott and who's Steve. But Ethan, by the way, so messed up. He snaps his neck and then he breaks his arm and every finger that he has. That's
They said something about every bone in his face too, right?
Yeah.
oh
Yeah, like what the hell is that
my
about?
god, this is surgical proficiency.
When I first watched this show, I really thought he was like some type of superhuman. Like I really did at this point. I really did.
You just said something, Dave. That's not compared. Since he was sick and flashed sideways, Ethan is a doctor.
Well, he's a doctor in this reality too.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, right.
Because Jack's performance, Jack will remark, You just really need a surgeon. And we had an excellent surgeon. His name was Ethan.
Oh man.
Which terrible management on Ben's part, sending your only surgeon
I know,
into
right?
do spy
You know?
missions.
You know?
And the mentally unstable surgeon.
Yeah.
Right.
But like he's been his homie forever. But
Yeah.
so I get it. I get why you send that guy, but
I think it's interesting too when somebody acts about Ethan and they said you sent somebody to kidnap him. He could read off book or something. That was the plan.
yeah, I think that's during the hunting party where they talk to Tom Friendly.
Right.
Yeah. But back to this episode. What do you guys think about the people that Jack chooses to give the guns to? He gives the gun to Sawyer, Saeed, and Locke. And then he gives one to himself, and I really guess one, but he doesn't give one. I think we figured out why he doesn't give one to Kate. But did he make the right choices?
I don't think Locke needed one. I mean, he knows Locke has all these knives. Why didn't he give
That
him
is true.
Why didn't he give him a gun if he knew he had all those knives?
Well, so that we could get the amazing line where Locke sees the guns and is like, "Oh, Doctor, you've been holding out on us."
Okay. Good point. That is an amazing
Worth it.
line.
It's a fair point. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a great line. I mean, I just, for me, who else is he going to give it to? It's got to be Saeed. It's got to be Locke.
Oh, Saeed is 100% the correct choice every time.
Right.
But, and maybe this is like, I don't know if Locke's the guy I go to, but I guess Jin's not like one of the guys yet.
I mean,
No.
why not Jin?
It's a language barrier.
I think the
I
language
guess.
barrier, yeah, I was going to say the language barrier, I think is still too much for him to be a part of everything still. Yeah.
And I guess Jin hasn't really integrated himself into the group. He won't do that until he gets accused of burning the raft.
Right.
So I guess Jin. I guess these were, maybe Michael. Maybe Michael instead of Sawyer.
Maybe. Definitely, yeah, I can see that.
But at the same point, would they... You know what? No, because I think Sawyer is a better choice than Michael.
I don't know. Sawyer's already fucked up killing the marshal. We're gonna find out because he's nearsighted. So I don't know.
And he didn't kill the polar bear. He did not kill the polar bear. We thought he did, but he did not. The polar bear was still there.
There are two polar bears, definitively.
No, I know.
And maybe one's a smoke monster.
Right. Well, that's possible.
All they know about Michael is that he works in construction. And they don't even... Maybe they know he's an artist, but why would they give a construction worker and maybe an artist a gun?
I don't know. You trust him.
I mean, I think at this point you can just give Walt a gun too. I mean,
just give Walt,
right? I mean, he's been through a lot. He's been through a lot of shit. I mean, that kid's definitely ready. He's definitely ready to take one now.
You know who needed a gun? I'll tell you who needed a gun.
Who?
Rose.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Rose? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about this last time I was on. Yeah, we don't know what Rose was doing before she met Bernard. She could have been like CIA, like top assassin.
She was what's her name from Suicide Squad?
Amanda Waller.
Yeah, that was Rose
really
before she got there.
That would be great. I wanted to circle back to something you said a little bit before, where you were convinced that Ethan had some kind of powers. For the longest time, was under the impression he did, and he was like one of those special people, like how Walt has bird master powers or beast master powers, and Hurley can talk to dead people, and Jin has super sperm. Like, I just thought that Ethan was one of those special people, and he was like extra strong.
Ooh, hold on. You didn't say something that maybe I missed. when we talked about that, Jen had super sperm.
Oh, no, just infertile off the island, and then on the island, and suddenly he can have kids.
Oh,
She was. I was gonna say she was. Or no, he was right. It was him.
Yeah, it was him.
Well,
They say the doctor says that it's her because he's scared that Jin will kill him because he's a hitman for Mr. Pake.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which I think, speaking of them, there's a really great quick scene of the Kwans. I always talk about the Kwans way too much when I come on. One of these days, I'll come on. I'll come on for a Kwan episode and just talk about Jack. But there's a really great scene where when Claire was brought back to camp, son is like, oh, the plant lady's back, and just like, oh no, is the baby okay? And I don't know if they had all the like they can't have kids stuff planned out yet, but it's one of those things that looking back at it with hindsight, you're like, oh wow, look at them. This is always like them having kids has always been a part of their story.
yeah.
But going back, I also thought that Ethan had like super strength because of just the first scene we see him in this episode, he literally one-handed choked up Charlie. I'm like, he's a hobbit, but come on.
Yeah.
That is
I thought for sure. Yeah, I thought for sure he had some, at least like super strength or something there.
And I think that goes into one of I talked about there were some deleted scenes from this episode. One of them was Ethan doesn't just appear like a wraith out of nowhere to spring the trap and get Claire. He actually breaks through the perimeter by getting into a fist fight with Locke. And like they engage in fisticuffs, and you can see images of it where he has a knife to Locke's neck. Locke gets out of it by stabbing Ethan in the leg.
Right.
And then he like knocks out Locke and goes to get Claire, which William Atherton is like, that's the only reason Jack was able to defeat Ethan, because he had already been because Locke had stabbed him.
Well, then... I'm just going to bring something up after you.
Yeah, so I think that they were potentially leaning into the others having like being extraordinary people at this point, where it was going to take two of our main characters to take down Ethan.
Yeah, it was weird when they came around the corner and they just didn't even help Jack at all. They just backed off. They just said, "Don't shoot," and then they didn't help him. It's like somebody grab the dude and hold him.
Yeah. Well, Locke immediately goes to check on Claire, and you can see him limping in there. And then Saeed goes to like Saeed and Kate, I think, go to subdue Ethan, and they're like, the doctor can take care of himself.
Yeah.
Well, I've been going to bring up, I know not for a few seasons, but when they go back in time, that's not to forget, Ethan shoots Locke, right? In the leg?
Yep. That's something I talked about the first time I was on, where I was like, or not the first time, but the second, or in Solitary, where I was like, Ethan and Locke are just so entwined with each other, because Ethan will remember, I shot that guy and he seemed to know who I was. That's weird. And then he sees him like 10 years later crash on the island, and he's like,
Yeah.
And that's not to forget, Sawyer was there when Ethan was born.
Yes.
That is true.
And Jack refuses to bring Ethan into this world, just like he refuses to take him out of it.
Ooh. I like that.
Because that baby... Oh, sorry, no, sorry, I'm wrong. He refuses to operate on Ben. The Ethan birth happens before the Oceanic Six come back to the island. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really dropping the ball on this one. This is not my best episode.
We never have it, no. No.
What I promise. Last little exchange I'm gonna bring up is where they're talking about what to do, and it's Jack, Locke, Saeed, Sawyer. I think they're all talking about what are we gonna do about Claire, and this is right before they set the perimeter. Locke's like, "Who remember what happened last time? He bested you physically, and he hung you from a tree." And it's like, I just always like the line reading from Terry O'Quinn. It's like, he bested you physically. It's like, yeah, suck it, Jack.
Well, I didn't like how I don't like how disrespectful Locke is towards Charlie. They had that one great episode in Mark, or maybe it was before Mark. But ever since then, Locke didn't show Charlie any respect going forward.
I think it's kind of like how back in the day, Charlie was macking on Shannon, and then it didn't work out, so he moved on to Claire. And it's kind of like Locke. He was like, all right, Charlie, he's going to be my acolyte. He's going to be my guy. And then it was like, all right, it's not him. Well, I got Boone. He's the new hotness now. I don't need you, Charlie.
Do you think if there was no Boone, do you think Charlie would have been Locke's partner in crime?
I think so. Because like, I don't know, maybe because Charlie stops going on like the ATM missions into the jungle, so he wouldn't have been there for the hatch discovery. But I think Charlie's probably the guy that Locke's going after if he doesn't have Boone to like hang out with and throw knives with, because Michael won't let him hang out with his son. My son! I got to get back to my son!
Yeah. Michael and one.
Oh, here's a fun fact that I wrote down. In the episode Homecoming, he says, dude, for the 42nd time in the season.
Oh, wow.
He said, and that's a lost number, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Like
And we haven't even had... Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
When I did I think it was my last rewatch before this. I watched all of Locke in 42 days. Take me
Wow.
how much you well.
Oh, I remember that. You were doing it on Twitter.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what I want to ask you guys. Did Ethan actually, did he scuba dive in? Did just nobody see a boat? How did Ethan get on shore, drag poor Scott out onto the beach, and kill him? I've always wondered that.
I think he swam in. I think he had a boat out that was out in the water, and he swam in.
So you think like Tom Friendly and Miss Clue are on a dinghy just right behind that rock, and he's like, oh, fuck. All right, it's got.
I think he got out. He got in and out.
I
In and out quick.
swam from Hydra Island.
That's so far.
Oh my god.
But Ethan's crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy. If anybody could do it, Ethan could, and I think he just sniped him and killed him and swam back.
Oh man, his name is Stop the routine bar.
Maybe he did. And he
He just showed up and he snapped his neck real quick and he was just out. Just gone.
No, well, he didn't. He didn't do that. He took the time to break every one of his fingers, both of his arms. Ethan was there for some time.
But again, he's superhuman, so that was 3 punches, really.
Oh, he's also got super speed. I get it.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, he's like Pinocchio. Have you seen the new Pinocchio where he when he gets out of the whale and he's using his feet?
I didn't realize that there were
Powers.
2 Pinocchio movies that came out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, too.
That's crazy. That's too many.
Yeah. The live action remake and then
Never have too much wood and noise in my opinion.
okay, we're just gonna move on from that statement.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, here's something from my notes. This is the first time since the episode White Rabbit where every single principal cast member makes an appearance in the episode.
Oh, there you go. That's interesting.
Everyone gets at least one scene. Even Shannon gets to come and tell the woman with amnesia, "Yeah, this is all your fault."
This is
Actually,
it, right? Yeah, right. She really does.
I know I'm telling you, like, I forget. Who was it that spilled the beans to her, that told her, we're doing this because of you? Was it Shannon?
yeah, that was Shannon. It was right after Scott's funeral.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Shannon sent some bits.
In that moment, she is a little bit of a bit. Yeah, I would
let's
agree.
be fair. Like, Scott just died, and we don't know. They could have been friends.
Sure.
Probably not, but
I'm not even Steve who died.
no. Well, it was the actor who played Steve, but it was in fact Scott.
Ben, it's Steve, Scott, Steve. That's all you got to remember that. That's all you have to remember.
Mnemonic device that I have used, and this is not a joke, and you guys don't make fun. If one of you laughs, I'm gonna kill myself. Is Steve? Here's how you is Steve is a leave, as in Steve's alive,
Okay.
or Scott is SCO dead.
I like that one.
I like that
That
better.
is
But yeah.
so good.
Wow. I didn't make up either one of those. Those are from one of the Lost podcasts I had listened to, but I do not remember which one, so I can't properly cite them.
Steve is a leave, huh?
Steve is a leave, and Scott is SCO dead.
Well, at least he didn't come up with it.
Yeah. I wish though. I'm looking through my notes. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
They're a boring episode. I mean,
I don't think it's a
No.
boring episode.
No, I don't think so at all. Honestly, yeah.
I think it's just one of those episodes where it's like when you try and you could recap all of John Wick in like 10 minutes because the majority of it is just action scenes.
right.
And this isn't like a big myth. Well, it actually is a big mythology episode in the fact that they kill an other. But for the most part, this episode is mostly just episodes, or not episodes. It's just like people fighting or one person talking to another person.
Right.
I like that this will not be the first. Sorry, this will not be the funeral that Hurley steeds over. I'm so bad at it this time. He's like, Scott, he got a all expenses paid trip for 2 weeks for this company. Sorry, I kept calling you Steve, dude. Amen,
Yeah.
I guess.
No, I love Haley. I love Haley.
Hurley's the best, man. Hurley is the best.
Yeah.
I'll bring something up. How come whenever somebody dies, how come it always rains? And then goes all the way back to the planet.
Jacob is crying.
I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
Jacob is crying. That's what it is. It's gotta be. He weeps for every death.
Oh, that is very sad. Oh, here's a fun thing. In the fight with Ethan, Jack's tattoo, which side is on?
Is on changing sign tattoo? That's
Yep.
funny.
It's on his right side, then it's on his left side. Then it's on his right side because they were flipping the frames in post.
Yeah, is
Good for
that
them. I
tattoo?
mean, it's just the editing in this show is just top notch.
And like I said, this episode does have something I don't acknowledge enough, and I really should start to. Some really great music in this episode. Whether it's the fight music that comes up, that cool SpongeBob music that I talked about, where Charlie's doing his physical combat, and then the death music that plays for Ethan dies when Ethan dies is something that will come back every time that an other gets killed. So I think that's a lot of fun.
Okay.
I think it's called like The Other's End or something is the name of the Giacchino track, or I don't know how to say his name.
Giacchino.
Yeah, Jake.
Is it Giacchino? Really?
Yeah.
Man, man, I got
That's at least how I've always heard it. Yeah, that's how I've always heard it.
I'm just gonna call him Mikey G. I think.
There you
You
go.
know, it really didn't feel like that rewatch of the show until I realized and appreciated how beautiful the music is from Giacchino.
Oh yeah. The music really makes Lost. There's a great I forget the name of the YouTube channel, but it's by a guy named Jim Fells, who goes through every episode and like analyzes it. Don't finish because I think he had a kid or something through. Where he's going through analyzing the motifs and stuff of every episode and being like, and this is where this comes in, and this is where this comes in. That's where I first learned the credit where credit is due song, which is the song that always plays when someone is excluded from or is brought into the group. I'll find out what channel that is and drop it in the comments below because that's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah. I mean, it is beautiful music.
Oh yeah.
It is.
All the way through. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say what my favorite piece
It definitely
is.
fits the show very well.
Mm.
I think it fits the tone of the show very well, the music, for sure. I told Ben before, I think this is one of my favorite, it might be my favorite just intros to a show, just how simple it is.
Just the slow panning Lost, yeah.
Yeah, and the music playing, I really love how it's just simple.
That is really something great about Lost. I don't got a lot to say about this episode. I apologize. My big triumphant return, and I got, I set the bar too high with last week's 8 pages of notes.
Don't worry, we're having back.
Yeah.
Oh, man. No, it's always fun.
Yeah. And then, like we said, this is an action-heavy episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which
for sure.
is great, but it means not that much to talk about. So we look at the flashbacks, but the flashbacks aren't really that good either. So,
No. I will say, speaking of the flashbacks, this was one final thing that I noticed about it. When Charlie's having dinner with Lucy and Lucy's dad,
right.
like, Lucy's dad is a guy who owns Winston Churchill's flask.
Right.
But he says that Charlie is the most impressive person they've ever had at their table. I'm like, I'm sorry, washed up one-hit wonder bass player is the most impressive person you've ever had at your table? Get better friends, my guy.
Well, maybe he bought the flask.
I was gonna say, yeah, was it given to him personally, or was it like an auction thing? He could have bought it.
I don't know. Oh, sorry, it's not a flask. It's a cigar case.
Okay.
Maybe he bought it.
Yeah,
I'm sure
he
he
might.
did.
Maybe he bought it to feel important.
That's fair, but he's got a massive house. Like
Yeah, he
he's
does.
He's a successful man. He can give this random guy a job selling copiers.
The flashbacks in this episode of Surely remind me of an episode of Breaking Bad towards the beginning of the series when Jesse tries to go to the jet and ends up stealing something. Do either one of you remember that?
I think it's time for me to do a Breaking Bad rewatch. I do not remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Where he goes legit, but then ends up stealing something.
But I haven't seen every episode of Breaking Bad, so I can't.
Oh, you're missing out, brother.
I know.
You think Lost is good?
I will do a full watch of it one day. I just haven't got around to it.
And then when we get through this, the Geekdom initiative turns into the heroin initiative, or the meth initiative.
The meth initiative.
No, it turned into the bitch initiative.
RV in the desert. RV in the desert. That's all I do. I remember the first episode. I remember that part. RV in the desert.
There is an RV in the desert.
How did they get there? We won't tell you until you watch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't got anything else to say about this episode.
that
Actually, I have a question though.
Okay.
So this is like the first like big action heavy episode of Lost.
Right.
Okay.
How do you guys think they did? Like, did you enjoy the fight scenes? Did you?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it fit the show.
It could have been a little bit better, but yeah, I thought it delivered what it promises. A great action revenge story.
Yeah, I think it definitely fits the show and the tone of the show. I mean, I didn't expect them to like go in guns blazing. I figured it was going to be some sort of fist fight. Like I said, I was just more surprised it didn't take like 2 or 3 of them to hold him down and tie him up or something before Charlie shot him. But I guess it makes sense. Why?
Yeah, especially with like the deleted scene where he's bleeding from the leg during that point.
Yeah.
So he's on his way out, honestly.
And then it sucks we didn't see more of him interacting with the others.
Yeah.
In present day. I mean, we did in flashbacks and so on, but not in present day.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I was going to say he did a better job than Goodwin, but I think Goodwin lasted longer, right?
Yeah, I believe. 1 second. Let me check my days. I actually have a calendar. So this episode starts on day 27 and it ends on day 29.
Okay.
So, and then Goodwin dies. Give me a second. It's not 48 days because that's the final total. Give me 1 second. You guys talk about Goodwin.
I thought Jack said it when he's talking to Claire that it's been over a month since they crashed.
Well, I'm looking at. I just looked. I got these numbers from Lostopedia, so I might be wrong. And also, I said.
No, I just thought that's what he said. He might not have said it.
Yeah. Yeah. Goodwin dies on day 27. Oh, so Ethan actually outlasted him by 2 days.
Oh wow!
But I will say Goodwin didn't get discovered until the very end.
Right.
He did like House of Cards. The moment Hurley was like, "Hey, so the manifest," and he's like, "Oh, I'm from Canada." You don't know her. She goes to another school.
Right.
But yeah, he does a really good. I think he does a good job. And Ethan is one of those guys who legitimately, I think, scares us about the others, and then to the point where again, we're not going to see. This is episode 15, so we're not going to see the others again for 11 episodes.
Sure.
And when they come back, you're immediately to that place of fear.
But they're always looming in the background, the others.
Always.
always thinking about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually think after the Ethan situation, I think maybe it's just with everything going on with the raft and all that, and then Danielle gets a lot more involved.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I kind of forget about the others until the finale.
Oh, really?
It's yeah, we dealt with Ethan like we did. We beat Vex. They're done. They're not coming back.
yeah.
And when Danielle shows up and is like, the others, they're coming for the boy. It's like, oh, that's right. We should have. This is a thing we should have been worried about.
Okay, I didn't want it up. I did have a question. When Danielle said they're coming for the boy, didn't we all assume she meant Aaron and not Walt?
Yeah. I think I actually, in my head, never heard anything. But we can talk about that on the Exodus show.
Mm.
She just is like, there's a baby. I'm coming to steal baby.
I guess we'll find out in
Yeah. I don't know.
10 more episodes, is it? Or 11?
It's less than that, depending on how you guys want to cover Exodus, because it's technically 3 parts. So
We'll probably do that in one shot.
Yeah, do that
We're
one
gonna
shot.
wait so long.
I
That's
like
the-
that.
that is the proper way to view Exodus.
I'm guessing you have a lot of behind the scenes stuff for that.
I have so much for Exodus. I honestly don't. I could not. If you're like, all right, Dave, tell us behind the scenes stuff for Exodus, I'd be like, you're gonna just have to give me the. I'm gonna have to just give you the top level stuff.
You know, in telling the truth, I can't wait to hear it because that is a pretty good season finale in my opinion. Yeah,
I think Exodus is maybe the best season finale in television history.
No.
Wow.
Oh, I love Exorcist, and I love Kuno looking last minute.
Yeah. That's the debate. What is better, season 1 or season 3's finale? But we're only on episode 15.
I need
Right,
more
yeah,
than
right.
season 3, because that is my favorite season overall of Lost.
Yeah, it's tough. I think season 3. I don't know. I really like season 4, and I know that's not a popular opinion, but I really like season 4. But season 3 might be the best season. But we're so far away from that.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
let's wrap this up. Dave, tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, you can find me over at the Northern Entertainment Group over on YouTube. You can find Ben over there. You can find me most Tuesdays, not tomorrow, but there will be a show tomorrow talking about TV. I think we're going to do some called "Have You Seen This?" where we're going to talk about all the greatest things that have happened in TV over the last 2022. Make sure you check that out. And then Ben does a bunch of shows over. A lot of fun. And then you can find me at Leave Me Alone on Twitter, but that's a terrible follow, so don't follow there.
Are you on Hive yet?
Yeah, but I have I have an account, but I haven't started following anybody or I haven't pollinated anything, which
I
is
have
what
a
they call
bunch of people
retweeting.
following me, but I literally have nobody that's tweeted at
Yeah,
or-
No,
I'm on it.
It's called pollinating on Hive.
Oh, very interesting.
That's dumb.
It's a little dumb. It is a little dumb.
Yeah, the whole. Well, we're gonna do it later.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Jedi Master Tuck. Another horrible follow. Please don't do that to yourself.
Wow.
Also, you can find me here on
The worst pluggers of all time.
absolutely. Right. Gotta be honest with people.
Yeah,
no,
I
Yeah.
respect that. I respect that.
You guys can find me here on Geekdom Initiative on
Monday.
Fellowship of Geekdom on Jedi Academy and on Geekdom Uncut. You can also find me in the Facebook group, guys. And please like and subscribe. We have gained a few followers in the last couple days because of a crazy video that we put out there. Ben, man, did we see that coming, man?
No, I've been telling Dave before you showed up. That damn video had like 750 views.
It's insane.
It's
We'll
going
take
to
it.
get to 1K by the end of the week.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe, please share the channel for us. Hit the bell. Thank you, guys.
And guys, you can find me on all those short YouTube cinnamon talk about also on What Are You Watching, where I bring on a guest. This week I have a very special fun episode with one Lord Kelly. You should check that out, and yeah, we'll see you next week for another Geekdom initiative. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.